When you hear made in Italy, what do you imagine? Skilled workers in Florence carefully stitching soft leather bags by hand, or tailors in Milan passing down fashion secrets from the time of Michelangelo? Well, hold on, because we're about to pop that €5,000 designer dream. Luxury branding is all about powerful storytelling. You'll hear phrases like handcrafted by artisans, timeless elegance, or European soul in every stitch. These words paint a picture of heritage, quality, and tradition, and for years we believed them. Surprisingly, many of these so-called luxury items don't come from small workshops in Italy or France. Instead, their journey often begins in a factory 7,000 kilometers away in China. For years, factories in Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Wenzhou have been making high-quality bags, shoes, and clothes that look almost exactly like the luxury items you see in Paris shop windows. Interestingly, they're often the same products. So, how does this work? For starters, choosing materials, cutting, and stitching is done in China. Then the nearly finished item is sent to Europe, where a small detail is added, maybe a zipper, a label, or a quick press with an iron. Just like that, it can legally be labeled made in Italy. It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. That final step, no matter how small, allows brands to claim European craftsmanship. At this point, it almost feels like the shipping box should be listed as part of the Italian team. Although it's a clever strategy, but it raises big questions about what luxury really means today. What really shocks us the most is that all of this is completely legal. According to EU rules, a product can be labelled made in Italy if the last major change happens there. But what counts as major leaves a lot of room for interpretation. Sewing on a button in a small workshop in Tuscany, that's considered enough. Adding a logo in Naples still counts. Even if 99% of the product was made overseas, a small final touch done in Italy makes it officially Italian. But sometimes the truth behind luxury branding slips out. In May 2024, an investigation revealed that top brands like Dior and Armani had subcontracted parts of their production to Italian companies using underpaid and undocumented workers. These workers, mostly migrants, were working 12-hour shifts for as little as €2 an hour, living in poor conditions that would be unacceptable anywhere, even in a video game. These guys were hidden away in industrial areas where labor laws are often ignored. Let's take a quick trip into the world of influencers, shall we? Park, a luxury denim brand started by two content creators, claim to offer conscious fashion and true craftsmanship. But TikTok users and a smart sustainability expert named Abby French dug a little deeper. People were shocked by what they found. It turned out Park's €300 jeans looked almost exactly like €20 pairs being sold on Alibaba. This jeans had the same stitching, same design, and same fabric. The difference was that one came with a glossy Instagram post and a feel-good message, while others were sold in bulk without the fancy branding. And then there were the viral factory tours. In April 2025, some Chinese manufacturers started sharing TikTok videos, showing themselves making bags for well-known luxury brands. You'd expect this to cause a major PR crisis, but instead, the videos disappeared. Accounts were suspended, hashtags stopped working, and comments were turned off almost instantly. However, the screenshot spread quickly. Now more people are starting to see that luxury isn't always about skilled hands and heritage. Sometimes it's just smart marketing and a big price tag hiding a very different reality. Made in Europe has always been linked to quality, tradition, and exclusivity. Regardless, a lot of luxury production today happens in places where labor is cheaper and rules are less strict. For example, a Chanel blazer might be made in Bulgaria, a Louis Vuitton wallet in China, or a Hermes buckle in Taiwan. What then gives it the luxury label? The final step. A small finishing touch is added in Europe, a tag is stitched on, and the price is increased by 600%. And just like that, it becomes luxury, even if most of the work happened elsewhere. The problem here is not the clever marketing, but the human cost behind it. Luxury brands make billions by promoting exclusivity and slow fashion, while quietly using fast fashion methods. The real artisans often don't live in Paris or Milan. They live in crowded dorms near factories and shipping centers. These workers are highly skilled, but the names and faces stay hidden so the brand's perfect image isn't broken. No one wants to think that their €4,000 bag was made by a 19-year-old working long hours in harsh conditions. Someone who hasn't seen daylight in weeks, Unfortunately, that's the reality behind the price tag. Thankfully, today's shoppers are smarter, more curious, and not afraid to speak up, especially Gen Z. They're asking the hard questions on social media. Questions like, where was this made? Who made it? And why does it cost more than my rent? Luxury brands are beginning to feel the pressure. Some now share vague supply chain transparency documents, hoping that's enough. Others are turning to blockchain to prove where products come from, but young consumers are no longer buying just the story. You'd also expect most celebrities to stay quiet. After all, they often get free luxury items and front row seats at fashion shows. But a few have quietly spoken out against the system. Emma Watson has supported ethical fashion for years. Livia Firth, the wife of actor Colin Firth, started the Green Carpet Challenge to promote sustainable fashion. Even Pharrell once criticized the fashion industry's darker side, before later becoming Louis Vuitton's creative director, which didn't go unnoticed by those with good memories. And then there are the quiet rebels. They don't say much, but the way they wear their outfits challenges the whole idea of what luxury even means. Hold on to that thought, we'll come back to her later. And now let's sprinkle in some AI. AI isn't just disrupting your dating life and college essays, it's quietly revolutionizing fashion production and marketing too. Brands now use AI to design handbags, predict future trends, and even monitor factory production. But don't worry, the human workers are still there, mostly because AI hasn't figured out how to stitch leather for €1.50 an hour yet. Some brands are also using AI to create fake handmade textures on bags and shoes. That beautiful artisan embossing, it might be just a digital file layered by a smart algorithm. In short, the future has arrived, and it's helping luxury brands save time, cut costs, and keep the image of exclusivity alive without always showing how the magic really happens. Made in Europe used to really mean something. It was like a stamp that said this product had real quality, deep traditions, and all that amazing skill that craftspeople have been passing down to their kids and grandkids for centuries. Today, it means something very different, like final stitching done in Milan, but the rest is made in a factory in Guangxi, China. Or even worse, it might mean a product was assembled in the EU but designed entirely by AI tools like Midjourney. Think about that the next time you show off your €4,200 handmade belt. It might have been mass-produced by a machine that's never even heard of Italy. So where does that leave us? Luxury isn't going away, it's simply changing its look again. Some brands will hold on tight to the mystery, selling dreams with fancy labels and polished ads. Others will try to be more open, sharing details about where and how their products are made. And then there are those that will quietly carry on, hoping you won't dig too deep or ask too many questions. Let's just say the industry isn't falling apart, but just learning to adapt in a world where customers are more curious, aware, and less willing to take luxury at face value. Now, what if luxury was never really about playing it cool, but about making everyone's jaw drop? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into with our next video, how Bianca Censori weaponized high fashion. Do you think she's fashion's biggest rebel, or the smartest player working the system? Well, smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and hit the comment section with the boogiest thing you've ever regretted buying. See you in the next expose.